At exactly 2:17 a.m. on a freezing October morning in Cleveland, 34-year-old Daniel Harper was officially pronounced dead inside St. Vincent Medical Center. And if you think this is just another tragic hospital story, wait until you hear what happened 3 hours later, because what unfolded inside that morgue is something doctors still can't fully explain. So let me ask you this before we go any further. If you were trapped inside a morgue drawer, fully aware but unable to move, how long do you think you could survive before losing your mind? Because according to his wife Emily Harper, Daniel had no history of illness, no warning signs, nothing that suggested anything was wrong until that night when he suddenly clutched his chest, collapsed to the floor, and stopped responding. And despite paramedics arriving within minutes and rushing him to the hospital where Dr. Michael Reeves and his team performed over 25 minutes of aggressive resuscitation, CPR, oxygen, multiple injections, there was no pulse, no response, nothing. And at exactly 2:17 a.m., he was declared dead, tagged, zipped, and transported to the morgue, a process so routine no one questioned it. But here's where things take a turn, because at around 5:42 a.m., morgue technician Jason Miller walked into what should have been a silent room and heard something that made him stop in his tracks, a faint, irregular scratching sound echoing through the cold storage area. And at first he tried to ignore it, telling himself it was just pipes or machinery, but then it happened again, louder this time, coming directly from drawer number 6, the one labeled Daniel Harper. And here's the question that would change everything. Do you walk away and pretend you heard nothing? Or do you open that drawer knowing something inside shouldn't be alive? Because Jason hesitated, his hand literally shaking as he reached for the handle, and the moment he pulled it open, he stumbled backward in pure shock because Daniel's eyes were open. Wide, bloodshot, and filled with raw terror, his fingers covered in blood, nails torn as if he had been clawing at the metal from the inside, and in a weak, broken whisper, he said just 2 words, "Help me." And within minutes, the hospital was thrown into chaos, doctors rushing him back into emergency care, trying to process what they were seeing, because a man declared dead hours earlier was now breathing. And while some later pointed to Lazarus syndrome as a possible explanation, here's where it gets disturbing. Because when Daniel stabilized, he revealed something that didn't fit any medical theory. He claimed he had been conscious the entire time, aware of everything, the cold air, the darkness, the suffocating silence, unable to move, unable to scream, trapped inside his own body. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, he added something that made even the investigators uncomfortable. He said he could hear something else in the room, something moving slowly between the rows of drawers, stopping, then moving again. And let me ask you this, what could possibly be walking around inside a morgue at 3 a.m.? Because when his wife Emily pushed him to explain, Daniel went quiet for a long time before saying the words that would change everything. It knew I was alive. And from that moment on, nothing about him was the same. He stopped sleeping, avoided dark rooms, and refused to be alone, often waking up in the middle of the night claiming he could still hear the same slow footsteps getting closer. And then, exactly 14 days later, Daniel Harper disappeared. No forced entry, no signs of struggle, his phone, wallet, and keys all left behind, almost as if he vanished into thin air. And investigators were left with one terrifying possibility. What if whatever was in that morgue didn't stay there? What if it followed him home? And if that thought gives you chills, then you need to watch the next video on your screen right now, because I'm about to show you a real documented case where someone was declared dead and woke up at their own funeral. And trust me, that one is even more disturbing. Like, share, and subscribe for more true crime documentary story.